Good morning, Mr. Richard Tam. I'm Abu Hazri, leader of Group 1, and today I'll be kicking off our presentation with sales and distribution module implementation for our fictitious company called Primecraft Furniture using Odoo software. I will be covering 6 areas today, starting with an overview of the sales and distribution module, followed by the master data I configured for Primecraft. Then walking through the 3 sales cycles that each demonstrate a different real-world fulfillment scenario, and closing with the key takeaways from this implementation. The SD module manages the complete order-to-cash process for Primecraft, covering 5 key steps from quotation through to payment, with each step automatically integrated with inventory and accounting in the background. I configured 3 customers and 5 storable products before any transactions could begin, with each customer corresponding to 1 sales cycle. Cycle 1 is the standard scenario. A quotation was created for Harmony Living Sendirian Berhad in Kuala Lumpur with 2 product lines in draft status. Clicking confirm converted the quotation into sales order with a unique number ID and automatically triggered stock reservation and delivery creation. Both products were fully available, which means the delivery could be validated straight away. An invoice was confirmed and paid, completing cycle 1 cleanly with no exceptions. Moving on to cycle 2, TechPark placed a large order of 290 units of customizable desks, creating the stock shortage scenario that follows. Odoo flagged the shortage but handled it gracefully by triggering a partial delivery rather than cancelling the order altogether. Odoo then automatically created a back order for the remaining units after the partial delivery was processed, ensuring no customer demand was lost while tracking the remainder under the specific ID. A partial invoice was raised and paid only for what was physically delivered, showcasing not only how a real business would handle this situation, but also how it benefits from it. And as we approach the final cycle of our presentation, which is cycle 3, this cycle introduces the CRM Lite pre-sales step, where a quotation was created for Prabut Maju Enterprise, totaling RM2,950. The send by email button triggered the CRM Lite workflow, generating a PDF and pre-filling the customer email automatically. The status transitioned to quotation sent, creating a documented record that the customer was formally contacted before any order commitment. Only after the customer accepted was the order confirmed into sales order, with delivery order created automatically. Now, unlike the scenario in cycle 2, both products were fully available and the delivery was ready to be validated immediately. Validating posted the goods issue and updated inventory in real time. Done status here confirms shipment to Prabut Maju Enterprise. An invoice was confirmed at RM2,950 with the accounting journal entry recorded in posted status. This means the accounting journal entry is recorded. Payment of RM2,950 was registered against the invoice here and thus updating the status to in payment and completing the full end-to-end sales cycle for Prabut Maju Enterprise. Before I wrap things up, I would like to highlight that this implementation demonstrates how a single integrated ERP platform like Odoo can seamlessly connect sales, inventory, and finance, eliminating the need for manual coordination across departments. This is what makes ERP truly powerful for any businesses, where every decision is informed by real-time data and every process flows automatically from one to the next without any gaps. On that note, I will be handing over to Zhi Ming, who will walk us through the materials management and purchasing module. Thank you.
Good day, Mr. Tak. My name is Lim Zhi Ming. Today, I will be presenting our ERP implementation using Odoo software. My role for this project is focuses on material management and purchasing process in company. I will explain how the system handle supply setup, product creation, purchasing, and inventory update in one connected flow. This slide shows the overall workflow of the MM module in Odoo. The process starts with vendor and product setup, followed by reordering rules, request for quotation, purchase order, good receipt, and inventory verification. All processes are connected to improve purchasing efficiency and inventory control. So, to create a vendor, we go to purchase, then order, and select vendor, After that, we add a new supplier here. We fill in detail like company name, contact number, and address. This information is saved and will be used later when make purchase. For Deeper Plus, we enter important details such as email, phone number, tax ID, and website. We also add a tag to classify it a raw material supplier. This makes easy to organize and manage supplier in the system. Next, we create another supplier, Metalwork Malaysia. This process is the same as before. By having multiple suppliers, the company can compare options and choose the best supplier when purchasing material. To create a product, we go to Purchase, then Product, and select Product. From here, we can add a new raw material used by the company. This allows all materials to be managed in one system. For timber board, we enter details like product type, cost, vendor, and lead time. We also assign to the raw material category and include purchase tax. This helps the system track costs and supply accurately. Steel frame is created a similar way. We define its cost, supplier, and category. With this setup, the system can manage different material efficiency during purchase and inventory tracking. To manage store level, we go to Inventory module, select Operation, and click Replenishment. This feature helps the company monitor inventory level and ensure the materials are always available when needed for production. We set minimum and maximum store level for each product. When store goes below the minimum level, the system will suggest reordering. This helps avoid running out of stock or keeping too much inventory. To create a request for quotation, we go to Purchase, then Order, and select Request for Quotation. This document is used to request pricing and delivery information from supplier before confirming a purchase. Here, we create a RFQ for timberboard. We enter vendor name, quantity, price, and delivery date. At this stage, the request is still in draft, so we can make change before confirming the order. Once confirmed, the request becomes a purchase order. This means the order is officially sent to the supplier. All details such as quantity, price, and delivery date are recorded in the system. When the material arrives at the warehouse, we validate the receipt in the system. This confirms that the company has received the goods from the supplier. The process also updates warehouse and inventory record automatically. After validation, the system generates a goods receipt note. In this example, 150 units of timberboard were received successfully. This receipt document helps maintain accurate record of incoming inventory and warehouse transaction. To verify stock update, we go to Inventory, then Product, and search for material item. In this example, we search for timberboard to check whether the inventory quantity was updated correctly after receipt the goods. The inventory level are updated automatically after the goods receipt process. The system also records movement log for tracking purpose. This confirms that the procurement and inventory update process has been completed successfully.
Hello, my name is Ahmad Nashih and my student ID is I23025684. So for this part, I'll be presenting the manufacturing and production planning module for Prancraft Furniture's Berhad using Udo. My section focus on how the company plans production, consumes raw materials, and update finished good inventory after manufacturing is completed. For my presentation, I will cover 5 main areas. First, I will briefly explain the PP module overview and how it connects raw materials, production, and finished goods. So next, I will show the work centers that were configured in Odoo, followed by the bill of materials and routing setup for the desk combination product. So after that, I will explain how Odoo calculates material requirement through the manufacturing order. And lastly, I will show how production is completed and how the finished good inventory is updated. The production planning modules shows how Premcraft converts purchased raw materials into finished furniture. So for this implementation, I use desk combination as the main finished product. The raw materials that was used are timber board and steel frame, which were already created and received into stock under the material management module. So the production flow starts from the BOM, then routing, then manufacturing order, and finally finished good inventory update. This shows the integration between PP, and SD. So provides the raw materials, PP use them for production, and SD can later use the finished goods to fulfill customers' order. Okay, so the first step was to create a work center for the assembly line. So in Odoo, a work center represents a physical production station where a specific manufacturing activity happens. So for the assembly line, I set the code as ASM and use the standard 40 hours per week working schedule. So this represents normal 8-hour working days from Monday to Friday. So the cost was set at RM 25 per hour. This represents the estimated operating cost of using the assembly line during production. The second work center created was the finishing station. So this station is used for the final checking and finishing stage before the furniture is moved into finished good inventory. So the code was set as FIN and the cost was configured as RM 20 per hour. So by setting up both work centers, Primecraft can clearly identify where each production activity take place and estimate the cost involved at each production stage. After setting up the work centers, I created the bill of materials for desk combination. So the BOM works like a recipe for manufacturing. So it tells Odoo what raw materials are needed to produce one unit of a finished product. So for one desk combination, the BOM requires 4 units of timber board and 2 units of steel frame. So the BOM type was set as manufacture this product. So which means Primecraft produce this product internally instead of buying it directly from a supplier. Next, I configured the routing through the operation tab in the BOM. So routing defines the production sequence and assign each operation to the correct work center. So for desk combination, there are 2 operations. The first operation is assembly, assigned to the assembly line with a planned duration of 60 minutes. The second operation is finishing, so assigned to the finishing station with a planned duration of 30 minutes. So this setup helps Odoo track the production process step by step and supports better for capacity planning. And after the BOM and routing were configured, so Odoo was able to calculate the material requirement. So for this production run, the production quantity was set to 10 units of desk combination. So based on the BOM, Odoo calculated that 40 units of timber board and 20 units of steel frame were required. So this shows the MRP logic in Odoo, so where the system converts finished good demands into raw material requirements automatically. Both components were shown as available, so the production could continue for this. Next, I created the manufacturing order for 10 units of desk combination. So at this stage, the order was still in draft status. So I reviewed the details before confirming it. So the correct product and BOM was selected. So and Odoo automatically displayed the required components. So this step is important because it helps us verify that the production order is using the correct BOM and that the required material are available before production is confirmed. After reviewing the manufacturing order, so I confirmed the order in Odoo. So once confirmed, the status changed from draft to confirm. So and the system generated the manufacturing order reference number. So the component status was also shown as available, meaning the required timber board and steel frame were ready for production. So at this point, the production order was officially ready to be processed. The production was then completed using the produce all function. So this function allowed Udo to validate the production and complete the manufacturing order. So once production was completed, so Udo consumed the raw materials according to the BOM. For this order, 40 units of timber board and 20 units of steel frame were consumed and 10 units of desk combination were produced. So the manufacturing order status then changed to done or completed. After the manufacturing order was completed, so I checked the finished good inventory. So the quantity of desk combination increased after production was validated. So this means Udo successfully posted the production output into inventory. So this is important because the sales module can now use the updated stock to fulfill future customer orders. So it also shows the benefit of an integrated ERP system where production and inventory are updated automatically without separate manual tracking. There are a few key takeaways from this PP implementation. So first, master data accuracy is very important. So if the BOM is wrong, Udo will calculate the wrong materials and production planning will also be wrong. So second, the PP module depends on integration with because production can only continue when raw materials are available in stock. Third, Udo improves inventory visibility because finished goods are updated automatically once production is validated. So lastly, scenario simulation helps the company understand how cost changes can affect profit before making pricing or production decision.
Good morning, Sir Richard Tan. My name is Kok Sze Ann, and I'm one of the group member of Group 1. Okay, so today I will presenting for my part of the group project, which covered the financial accounting module and the profit travel operations planning challenge for our manufacturing business scenario using the Udo ERP. Okay, so first for the chart of account setup, I learned that Udo will automatically generate a complete chart when you install the accounting module. It means that I did not need to create the accounts manually. The key accounts relevant to our manufacturing business include product sales for revenue, cost of goods sold for manufacturing costs, stock operation for inventory tracking, and salary expenditure for variable costs. As shown in the screenshot, all necessary accounts were readily available. Yes, now so let me present for the profit and loss statement, which has been updated already. The profit and loss statement was generated for the period of the year 2026. The total revenue is 113,639.71 cents. Unlike my previous report where the cost of revenue showed zero, the updated statement now shows the cost of revenue at 1,500. This is because my teammates have now posted for the manufacturing transactions and the system is correctly recording the production cost. As a result, the gross profit is 139.71 cents, which is calculated by subtracting the cost of revenue from the total revenue. Operating expenses still remain at 1,026 ringgit for 29 cents, which include expenses such as the rent, the utilities, and other operational costs. Finally, the net profit is 112.42 cents. This is a decrease from the previous net profit of 112,612.42 cents, which makes sense because manufacturing costs have now been factored into the report. This updated profit and loss statement now accurately reflects the manufacturing business scenario, showing that both revenue from sales and the costs incurred to produce the goods. Okay, now this is the updated balance sheet. Okay, so the total assets are 87,542 ringgit point 44 cents. Looking at the breakdown, the bank and cash accounts put 6,434 ringgit point 50 cents and receivables are 82,551 ringgit point 69 cents, which represent the monies owned by customer from sales order. The total liabilities was 4,500. It consists entirely of current liabilities. There are no current liabilities or payables at this time. The total equity is 83,042 ringgit point 44 cents. This is made up of current year unallocated earning of 100,000 and 11,500 and 17 ringgit point 44 cents, offset by previous years at allocated earnings of negative of 28,475 ringgit, which represent a loss from prior period. Now let's verify the accounting questions. The asset totals 87,542 ringgit point 44 cents. Liability plus equity also totals 87,542 ringgit point 44 cents. The equation balance perfectly confirming that our chart of accounts is correctly configured. In summary, the company has strong receivable of over 82,000, which indicated active sales and minimal liability of only 4,500 ringgit, suggesting no debt. The cash position remains healthy at 6,434 ringgit point 50 cents. Okay, so the next we come to the cash flow statement. The cash flow statement show a closing cash balance of 6,434 ringgit point 50 cents. So we notice that cash from operating, investing, and the financing activities all show zeros. This is because sales were recorded as revenue on credit, not as cash payments. This is consistent with the high receivables balance we saw on the balance sheet. When customer pays their invoice, the operating cash flow will increase accordingly.
Thank you, Anne. Now that all four models have been presented, I will be coming back to cover the challenge task on profit-driven operations planning. Specifically, I'll be walking through challenge A, which involves a cost volume profit analysis performed for Primecraft using financial data sourced directly from Odoo. The data source for this CVP analysis is the profit and loss report generated from Odoo's accounting module from the full year of 2026. The report shows total revenue of close to 114,000 ringgit, cost of revenue of 1,500 ringgit, reflecting the manufacturing cost of 5 units of desk combination delivered to Prabut Maju Enterprise, and operating expenses of approximately 1,000 ringgit, which represent the fixed cost base used in the break-even calculation. The net profit stands at approximately 111,000 ringgit. This particular Odoo A19 Enterprise Edition allows financial reports to be exported directly to Excel via the XLSX button on the report toolbar. This slide shows the same profit and loss data exported to Excel format, confirming that all figures are consistent with the Odoo interface view. The cost of revenue of 1,500 ringgit, gross profit of 112,000 ringgit plus change, operating expenses of plus minus 1,000 ringgit, and net profit of close to 112,000 ringgit are all correctly reflected. This demonstrates the ERP system's ability to produce reliable cross-format financial reporting for management decision-making. The second data source is the desk combination product record in Odoo, which shows a selling price of 450 ringgit and a product cost of 300 ringgit per unit. Using these figures alongside the fixed cost from the P&L report, the CVP analysis gives a contribution margin of 150 ringgit per unit and a contribution margin ratio of 33.33%. Primecraft only needs to sell 7 units of desk combination to break even, translating to a break-even revenue of 3,150 ringgit. The net profit margin is 97.78%, calculated from the updated net profit of close to 112,000 ringgit against total revenue of approximately 114,000 ringgit. That's it for my presentation, and thank you.
So this part is about dynamic pricing rules in Odoo. The goal is to give automatic discount based on customer order quantity. This helps to company increase sales and manage pricing more easily. First, we go to sales, then configuration and setting. Under the pricing tab, we enable the price list feature. This allows the system to create automatic pricing and discount rules. Next, we create a new price list called value discount price list. Then we key in the discount detail for desk combination. We set a 10% discount with a minimum quantity of 10 units. Here we test the quotation with only 1 unit entered. Since the quantity is below 10 units, no discount is given. The product price remained at 450 ringgit. Last, we enter 10 units into quotation. This system automatically applied the 10% discount. This proves the dynamic pricing rules is working correctly.
This table summarizes the scenario results. So before the increase, the selling price is RM 450. So cost is RM 300 and gross profit is RM 150 per unit. So after the 15% cost increase, so the selling price remains RM 450, but the cost increased to RM 345. So this reduced the gross profit to RM 105 per unit. So the gross profit margin also dropped from 33.33% to 23.33%. So for 10 units, so the total profit reduced from RM 1,500 to 1,050. So if Primecraft does not adjust its selling price or reduce cost, so the company lost RM 450 profit for this production order. So this helps management decide whether to review supplier pricing, adjust selling prices, or improve production efficiency. For challenge C, I simulated a 15% increase in raw material cost. So the selling price of desk combination remains at RM 450 per unit. So before the increase, the cost per unit is RM 300. So the gross profit is RM 150 per unit. So after applying the 15% cost increase, so the cost become RM 345. As a result, gross profit drops from RM 150 to RM 105 per unit for a production quantity of 10 units. So this creates a total profit reduction of RM 450.
Okay, next let's move on to the challenge task, profit-driven operation planning. And for my part, I do for the challenge D, there's automated profit alerts. Okay, so now I will present for challenge D, which focus on automated profit alerts. The objective was to set up alerts that trigger when operational KPIs exceed defined threshold. I monitor three key KPI that is overtime labor cost with a threshold of 5,000 per month and assess inventory storage with a threshold of 500 received units per month, and the last is the product profit margin with a threshold of 25%. The first KPI is overtime labor cost, monitored through the expenses account on the profit and loss statement. The current balance is 1,027 ringgit for 29 cents, which is below the 5,000 threshold. If labor cost exceeds this threshold in any month, management receives an alert and can investigate overtime usage and implement the cost control measures. The second KPI is assess inventory storage cost, monitored through the move analysis report. This report tracks received quantity of incoming raw materials and set a threshold of 500 received units per month. If raw material intake exceeds this threshold, the system will trigger an alert prompting management to review order quantities and the warehouse capacity to avoid excess storage fees. Okay, so for the third KPI is product profit margin, monitor directly from the product form. For the sample products like the cabinet with door, the cost is 120 ringgit and 50 cents, and the sales price is 140 ringgit. This gives a profit margin of only 13.93%, which is well below the 25% threshold. Therefore, an automated alerts would be sent to management recommending either an increase in the selling price or a reduction in manufacturing cost to improve the profitability. In conclusion, in this report, I have successfully configured the chart of accounts, generated all three required financial reports, and implemented three KPI monitoring frameworks for automated profit alerts. A key learning from this project is that while Odoo provides comprehensive financial reporting capabilities, some automation features require manual monitoring in the Community Edition. Overall, this project gave me a valuable hands-on experience with ERP financial modules and profit-driven operations planning. Thanks.